lovely, and welcome to my studio. In this video I'm going to be making this page in my junk journal using the Handmade Dorset junk journaling kit. So grab a cup of tea, grab a pen and paper, and let's get into it, shall we? Introducing the Handmade Dorset Spring Junk Journaling Kit. This is the first of 2 spreads that I make for this kit, so please check out the other video. So inside the kit you'll get 40 lush elements, lots of vintage ephemera, original backing papers, from music scores to old book pages, dictionaries, etc. Maybe some maps too. There's also some backing papers made from original paintings that we've reproduced, and some lovely carefully reproduced illustrations, birds, flowers, etc. and some lovely spring quotes that you can use to embellish your pages. So just starting to create the background. I like the music because it reminded me of birdsong. I thought it was a great idea. And then I'm just going to tear the edge of this page on the edge of a ruler because it leaves a nice soft kind of feathery finish to it. So it's just nice to have different textures on your pages. It just makes them more interesting. And here's one of those lovely abstract painting backgrounds. Tracy did that one. It's really pretty, isn't it? And I'm just layering up, trying out different things, cutting out different words and different elements to see what's going to go where. As with all art and all creativity processes, half of it is about play, about experimentation and seeing what you like where. And it's really individual and it's really up to you. And yes, there are rules, but you know, this is your planner. You can do what you like with it. This is for you. So you do what pleases you, what pleases your soul and pleases your eyes. I'm just giving a little whitewashing over the music paper to knock it back just a little bit so it's not quite so hard and contrasty. And then around the edges I've used that Distress ink by Tim Holtz, the Ranger Distress ink, which you may be familiar with, but if you're not, it's just a kind of water-based ink that is handy for giving things kind of an aged finish, and we'll be stocking that soon in Handmade Dorset too. Some of the elements, like those tulips just there, I've decided to cut round, and some of them I've left flat to, you know, to provide surfaces or to give that kind of more of a geometric shape. I think it's nice to have a mix of the fluid lines and a mix of the straight lines, but again, it's totally up to you, however you like to do it. So this page ends up being kind of split into 3. So there's the elements on the left hand side of the page, and then the tag that sits in the middle eventually. There's lots of changes going to happen yet. And then some elements that are going to sit on the right hand side of the page. And obviously all the while I'm thinking about where I'm going to write my journal in and where it's going to be. So I'm making sure that there are some areas that, even though I want the page covered in interesting things, there's still going to be some areas, even if it's behind tags or hidden behind things, where I can write some things. I've added some washi tape here, which isn't included in the kit, but obviously you can use your own washi tape, and also, you know, we sell washi tape on Handmade Dorset, but you know, you use whatever you feel works with the theme and with the colour scheme you're going with. The kits are themed into themes like spring, summer, autumn, winter, and stitching and hobbies and things, but the colour scheme really is up to you. You can pick out the ones that you really like to work with. I felt the green was obviously a big thing for spring. So I'm just using some oil pastels here. You can use whatever you like. You can use crayons or just ordinary colouring pencils, but what I like about oil pencils, and these are just the cheapo versions, is that you can smudge them with your finger, so it leaves a nice blended finish. Again, with a little bit of white paint, just a regular acrylic paint, I'm just brushing over slightly to knock back some of those colours so the background is a little bit more muted and stays in the back rather than coming forward. So at this point I've made the decision that yes, the tulips and the butterfly are going to go on the tag. It's a beautiful coffee stained tag, by the way, and I've just added the little bit of string at the top there that also comes in the kit. So I'm using some foam pads just to mount them so they've got a little bit of a 3D element in there. Popping that in the middle. How cute is that? And did you notice that little nest on the side? It's so lovely. All of the spring kits have different elements, so you might not get these tulips, but you will get some butterflies and you will get some spring flowers. It just depends what's in your kit. Some of the other kits will have exactly the same. So the stitching kit, for example, has exactly the same elements in each thing. But this one, we decided to kind of, you know, jazz it up a bit and make it a bit more potluck. So it's exciting for you when you open it and you don't know what you're going to get. So again, I'm adding the wording to the different elements. I'm adding a little cute bow, because why not? You know I love a bow. It's really sweet, isn't it? I'm just popping up the little bits and pieces here. I'm trying to find ways of adding more little journal spaces, just little places where we can write things. Again, using the PVA, and I just use an old, you know, a club card thing as my fancy pants spatula for my PVA spreading. A little clover leaf. I couldn't decide where to put this one, but I love the green element. And if you notice, there's green dots of green about, and it's really nice sometimes if you can have 3 of a colour in 3 different parts of your painting or of your pages, so that the eye travels between the 3 things. So whether that's for you a green or a red or a turquoise or whatever colour is strongest in your work or pops out a bit, that's a really handy design tip, like for composition. Okay, I had to cut that in the end, the clover, to get it in that spot, which I don't like doing, but you know. So now I've made that nest into an open flap, one that you can open up and you can write something behind. It's really getting to the end stage now, where I'm having to be really careful and think about the finishing touches. So the kind of messy bit is over, the wild bit is over, and now we're just placing things quite carefully. Look at this, I'm in love with it. Trimming off a bit of paper there, thinking about what I could do to kind of finish it and just bring it all in together. So out comes the pen. Just a little bit of hand doodling. Anybody can do this, it's just a doodle. And it just kind of is a finishing element that brings it all together. Everything's glued, everything's ready. Here we go. Cuteness. Let's have a look, shall we? What do you think? I love the 3D element. I think it's really simple, but it really talks spring, doesn't it? And I'm so pleased. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out the other videos and keep making, my friends.